Okay, we are back, and we're going to take a look at some options here. Some maybe not your favorite things. Things that make your life a little harder in chemistry are exceptions, and there's always these little exceptions to the rules that we give you. And so last year we told you some small lies, for your benefit, so you didn't have to learn extra stuff about these electron configurations. And so these exceptions we skipped over them. We sort of omitted them, did not tell you about them, but yet they are real. They are things that you have to know. And so anytime you have an exception in IB, you need to know that will be on the IB test, and that will be on my test. You need to know these. So please make yourself a note that you have to know these. They are on the test, and if you learn them, you're going to be much, much happier because you're going to get an A plus plus plus, and so we want that to happen. So what the heck's going on here? So it says this line right here. This is where we're going to be looking right there. If you have a half full or completely full D sublevel that is slightly more, and there's the keyword stable. So what the heck does that mean? Well, okay, here's what a D block looks like. So a D block has 5 boxes, and we can put arrows in there. We call those orbitals. So we have 5 boxes like this. So what happens is that we put electrons in there, and so what the elements like, they like the D sublevel to have 5 electrons. So 5 electrons, that would equal half full, and that would be really, really good, and it would make the element super duper happy. Once again, happy elements. Or we could go up to 10, and if we could get to 10, then again, the electrons at 10 electrons, that equals full, and that is also super duper happy, right? We want these elements to be happy. That is their goal. They want to be stable. So that keyword is stable. Okay, so what the heck? Why are these exceptions then? Well, these are exceptions because they do things to manufacture this half full situation. So we're going to look at chromium first. And I'm going to go ahead and do that on another page so I have a little more space to show you. But it's not hard, but it's something that you are going to have to memorize. So slide over here, kind of move through my Jamboard. So there's my periodic table. And we're going to zoom in on this. And so chromium is in green, right? So chromium is right here. We've got it in green. And chromium is number 24. Okay, so what happens is I've got an abbreviated configuration right here. This is normal chromium like you guys have learned it in the past. So it'd be AR in brackets, 4s2, 3d4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So standard stuff. This is what you've learned. Okay, but here's the problem. 3d4 is not half full. It's really, really, really close, right? Because what it would love to do is it would love to become 3d5, right? Because the magic numbers were 5 or 10. So let me show you on the next page what's going to happen. So here's what happens. So it's got this situation, and so we're going to put in our electrons. So we got 1, 2, go to a better color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 4s2, 3d4, which is what we have there. Okay, so we're going to have to make it 3d5. So what are we going to do? We're going to move an electron, and we're going to make a better, more stable situation. So we're going to move one of these electrons. We're going to move this electron right here, and we're going to put it right there. So what's going to happen is we're going to go ahead and pick this electron up right here. Need the pen. So what we're going to have is right here is one electron will move to the D block. So this electron right there is going to come over here. So it pushes one from the S to the D. So what happens is it elevates, or it moves one from the S. So basically it's going to move from S to D. That's only going to do one. It's not a big enough deal to move two. So now you have the S, which is half full, and you have the D, which is also half full. And since the D has more energy, this makes it happy. So it just bumps one from the S to the D to create what we would like to have happen, which is 4s1 3d5, because that 5 is really important. Okay, so that is the configuration that we would use. So let's go back to the notes and let's write that in. Okay, so right here, this is not normal. This is different than you would normally see. So for chromium, we would do argon 4s1 3d5. And the key thing being right here, this 4s1, right? So you have to watch these, because you can get yourself in trouble if you're not looking out for them. So chromium, very, very, very common. Now let's look at copper. That's the other one that's common. And so copper, let's do the same thing over here. Let's look at our periodic table. Okay, so let's do copper. So let's go ahead and get rid of the chromium there. So let's come over here to copper. There's copper, right? So with copper, it's going to be very similar. I'm going to go ahead and erase the, chromium. So you guys have that down already. So what does it want to do? Very similar stuff. So it's going to be AR. Oop, don't want the highlighter. Here we go. It's going to be AR in brackets. And then it's going to be 4s2 3d9, right? So that's what it is normally. So we're right there at 3d9. So remember, the D block would love to be more stable, so it really wants to be 3d10, right? Like that's going to make it like super duper happy. It's like, please, please, please make me 3d10. So what are we going to do? We're going to move one electron here from the S block. We're going to move one of these over there. So this is going to become a 1, and that's going to become a 10. So it's going to be AR 4s1 3d10. So this one's half full, and this one's completely full. And since the D is a little bit more important than the S, has a little bit more energy, that's what it does. It bumps one over. Okay, so it just bumps one over. So just moving one from the S, nothing fancy. Let's go here. Just go ahead and write that in. So we're going to go different pen color. Okay, so this is the copper. I'm kind of running into the silver, but we'll do fine AR 4s1. That's the weird thing. 3d10. Okay, so this is again one that we really need to memorize. Okay, so you guys try the silver on your own. So try the silver on your own. It's very similar, right? Like follows the same pattern. And then I'll show you that. So try the silver on your own. Okay, so let's see what you did. See if you got it right. I'm sure you did. Super smart kids. Here we go. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And let's clean this up. Got a bunch of stuff in there. We don't need that. Don't need any of this. We don't need any of that. Let's clean that up. All right, you guys are doing silver. So silver is right down here. So silver's actually out of the area that IB would test you on, but still you need to be able to answer that because it's the same pattern, nothing different. So we're going to start at krypton. So KR. And then it's going to be 5S2. And then counting that way, that's going to be 4D9. Okay, so how are we going to fix this? Same trick. We are going to move one there to there. So move one from the S. So this is going to become a 1. It's going to become a 10. So it would be KR 5S1. Half full. Still pretty stable. 4D10 better. Okay, so this is the old and that's the new right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and write those in. Go ahead and write that in right here. We'll go back to the red pen. And so we're going to do the krypton 5. Oops, that's definitely not a 5. 5S1 4D10. Okay, so those exceptions, definitely need to know those. Guys, they are on the test. I really don't know how else to tell you, but you've got to memorize these 3. I would say that the ones with these arrows here, these are the most likely ones, the 2 first ones, because they fall within the range that IB likes to test. And so these 2 are probably your best bet in terms of memorizing. So, okay, I'm going to pause it here.